Those are the taillights. I'm going to shorten this. I'm going to saw it off the S13 with some new lights. I'm also going to be changing the shape of this because it's dictated by the shape of the light. Now, while that other light has a radius, right? It's similar shape, you know, straight, and then it wraps around the corner, the same-ish. But instead of this radius, it's got a angle, and it's also pitched, so it's gonna be shaped into the fender, is what I'm gonna do. But then at the same time, I'm going to shorten this section of the car. So I'm gonna bring this in a considerable amount, and then as you can see, this dictates the shape, and we have a different shape with these up here. A little glimpse, but like, yeah. So this is actually gonna have a whole new contour shape, and I'm gonna try and do it from scratch. All right, so I've got the trunk here. It's gonna stay as I cut everything else away, and then I'm gonna use this as a kind of a layout line, because if you look carefully, I just took a measurement, and that body line right there actually runs all the way through and is this line here. So if you look super carefully, you can kind of line it up right here. But that line is characteristic of the car. It's important. So I need to figure out, I'll give you guys a side glimpse. That's the tail light right there. But I'm either gonna do this top or this bottom, or maybe, because there are some lines in the middle that I may be able to incorporate. Gotta get a closer look, but I need to find where that is. And actually, if you look even closer, that line is supposed to carry through to the trunk. Come on, focus. Right there. So this is a little fucked up. Maybe it's supposed to be that way, because I don't know. We'll see. I could fuck with it. It's all gonna change. But that line is also important too. So that line actually wraps all the way around. So we're gonna try and retain that as we work with these 2F Performance LSE panels. Gonna be modified. Do for die. Damn. Yeah. We're gonna saw it off the S13. I'm also gonna remount the wing. I'm gonna maybe cut that and change the angle and make that thing proper. May have to change the way that is mounted up there as well. Perhaps drill new holes, because I'm gonna have this thing pitched a lot more. I think that's what's wrong with the way it's mounted, because from the back it looks great, but like from over here, it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, just the lines don't fucking work. It's too just like goosey. Too much of a goose. Less goose. I'm still waiting for the headlights to show up, but I also noticed that the headlights carry through on that line as well. So I'm gonna try and retain that line. I'm not gonna fuck with the front too much right now. Although, knowing that line is there, I can kind of do some creative shit that I need to do. Because I don't know how much of this is gonna change. I may do a lot of different stuff right around here. Because if I shorten this, which I do intend to do, because if if you look, there's just a lot of nose, you know? The front of the motor is basically the front of the tires, which is kind of crazy. I want to move the motor back as much as possible. I need to see how much I can move that in. Because if I compete with this, I don't know if I can fuck with the firewall too much. That just depends. I don't know. I really want to move that back. But yeah, I'm going to be shortening the car as well. The car will be shorter. I don't know. In total, by maybe like 1.5 feet. Because there's a lot of nose there. And I don't know if it needs that much. Like, it really doesn't. To be honest, I may just like snub it. Maybe take that whole like front lip off and just kind of like bring everything back. I think that might be kind of cool. We'll see. I'm also fucking with the misfire because it had misfire on 4. So I'm gonna switch the plugs out. I'm gonna mark these like 3 and 4. Put them back in. If it fixes it, it fixes it. If it comes back, I'll start isolating whether or not it is one of these. Shouldn't be the spark plugs because I'm going to be putting new spark plugs in, and I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that it's probably an injector, which I have a second set. I'm going to ship those out and get those cleaned and throw a brand new set in, and then after that brand new set's in, then I'll know, okay, maybe it's just this, or maybe it's the wiring. Because if it's the wiring, then maybe I'll switch 3. No, fuck, I can't do that. Maybe I can if I program it, but no, it sounds sketchy as fuck. Yeah, just gonna figure it out one by one. So right now I'm finding the line that I'm trying to achieve. That was a good focus. So this curve, right, it's sloping down. I'm gonna try and bring that line down. So this is gonna step out, but it's within the wheel well. It's still well within the wheel well, so there's a lot of room to work with. That actually is in line with the wheel well. So there's still a lot of room, which means we can get a shape that's not gonna be too big. I've also got the overall shape the rear end's gonna be, because again, the taillight contours the rear end. Ooh, so that's how different the shape is gonna be. Wow, that's a good perspective. The other side, I do have them somewhat lined up. Wow, that is gonna be super interesting. And that's about how much I'm aiming to cut off as well. So, let's see, I got so much shit in here, I gotta fucking organize. So that's how much shorter it's gonna be. But I still think that's a good line. It's not too short, but it's gonna be, it's actually not gonna be that much shorter, but around the corners where it matters, it's going to be, oh, it's gonna be sleek. And that line right there, hold on. The line right there goes well with that line. Kind of like sharp. Excited. So what I've got right now is I've got that little pin right there on the back of the upright. And my radius is coming through to that straight line from that triangle that I cut. So that's gonna be where it's at. And then that also gives me this line that will contour, you can see, into that. And you can also see how much I'm going to be taking off. And it makes the corners snubby, which is perfect for a drift car. All right, let's move this thing. This thing downstairs and start taking the interior out because I'm gonna store that inside while I work. I don't want to get it dirty or dusty.